The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
This is the Eagles Sports Network. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside Carson-Newman, Director of Cross Country and Track and Field, David Needs. Congratulations are in order. One for you, right. Two for your program. Let's see. Region Coach of the Year, right. Assistant Coach of the Year in Kieran Schuller-Davis. Men's Region Track Athlete of the Year in Maka Chirumba. And then Women's Field Athlete of the Year in Khadija Sangare. Good night. What a Monday for the track and field program. Let's start with the individual, because that's always your favorite thing to talk about, sure. Tongue firmly planted in cheek. What's this mean to you after a phenomenal both indoor and outdoor season for this program?
You know, Adam, as we know, as an assistant coach for the great Ken Sparks, one year I said, Coach, you got Coach of the Year again? Congratulations. And he's like, oh, David, it doesn't mean that much. And one of the things that he and I kind of came out of that room discussing was that it meant so much because it wasn't just the head coach but the staff. And Coach Sparks said, David, you really have renewed my feeling for that Coach of the Year because of that. And to me, that's what it is. If I stood here for a second and tried to take credit, I would be selling a lot of people short. A phenomenal staff of dedicated coaches. You'd mentioned Kieran, but, Chris and Mike and Whit and Austin and Trey and Coach Baker and all the other people that have done so much to be part of our staff. But athletic trainers and SIDs and everything. I mean, it's the head coach award is a nice way of saying that your staff did a good job.
I'd say it's probably all the more special then that there's the other Coach of the Year that Kieran brings in. I mean, you've said time in, time out, whether there's a microphone in front of your face or not, that he is the best sprint coach in America, and I'd say so, considering that his sprinters scored 32 points at the national championship. Yeah,
Kieran is everything that I've said is just a drop in the bucket of what Kieran means to us and to our program. And Kieran is very meticulous, and he is not one of those guys that's going to get overwhelmed in the moment. He just keeps going. His favorite thing that he loves to tell his group of athletes is control the controllables, and Kieran does a great job of that. And he does a great job with our sprinters, and he reaches them in such a way that they feel like they're getting better. And it is. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. When we go to nationals, we're running better than we ever run all year, and that's a long design of our program. And Kieran has found a way of implementing it with his group for sure.
Maka Chirumba, I guess it's a no-brainer at this point. When you look at the history of the track and field program, NAI to NCAA, you got two national champions over the last pick which year you want to go back to, Tanner Stepp and Larry Cook. And Maka goes and does it three times in the last 3 months. Can you put into words how special this year has been for him, especially with the development from a guy that didn't even make indoor nationals as a freshman?
Right. One of the things that we have seen with Maka is there was a lot of raw talent. It just needed to be focused. And Kieran did a great job of speaking in a way that could get Maka to see. And Maka's trust for Kieran is unquestionable. And they had such a great relationship, and you can see that in Maka. Maka and I have a Bible verse that we share, and it's Joshua 1:9, and basically it's a verse that he and I have had since he was a freshman at Outdoor Nationals, and it's wherever you go, God's with you. And Maka is taking that with him, and it was so neat to see Maka at the national championships. He's got a T-shirt on that says Joshua 1:9 on it. Like he's locked in with that, and he believes that. And so Maka, when he runs, if you watch him win the 100 meters, he was 8th at the 80-meter mark and wins the race. In the 200, he pulled away in the last 30 or 40 meters. But Maka's strength is in how he finishes. And, certainly this year he finished well.
I think for the men's program, these sorts of accolades have become commonplace, which speaks well to the consistency over the years. A wonderful chance for the women to have their moment in the sun as well. Between she doesn't pick up one of these regional awards, but Sade D'Souza, what she did during the indoor season. But Khadija Sangare flips it. You had your first team All-American sprinter in indoors. Now you get your first jumps, first team All-American in outdoor with Khadija. Can you speak to the leaps that they've made this year?
Yeah, one of the things that we said this year was our focus was to improve our women's team. And we went out and tried to find people that could help us improve. And so Sade was one of those people. Khadijah was one of those people. And then to get more consistency, you get Sydney McCarty that goes to nationals and finishes second. And so, for the long jumpers and for Coach Chris Potts-Howard to take two people to nationals. And you think about how special indoor or outdoor was for us, that in every event that we could have taken an individual, we took two.
Yeah.
And so that says that you have a good group, and Chris did that. And so when you get Khadijah to perform at nationals, and there were people in our region that were ranked higher than her going to nationals, and Khadijah outperforms all of them and ends up being Region Athlete of the Year, what it says for our women's program is that same marks of consistency that we're looking from our men, they have bought into, sold out, and are committed to do on the women's side too.
Obviously, there's work to be done in the off season. The men, you graduate quite a bit. Women, it feels like probably ahead of where the men are at this point for the first time in a while. What's the next 6-7 months like to continue this level of consistency and go back to back in some facets?
Well, Kieran and I and Chris kind of joked on the way back that we were like, all right, we need a break. You've been in Colorado for a week and you've done all this, but to tell you the truth, the recruiting has never been hotter. When you do what you do at nationals, there's a lot of people that are out there that say, hey, I want to be an Eagle. I want to be part of that. And so this time we're in June, where June is usually my favorite month because things slow down. It hasn't yet. And so we're excited that rightfully so, and we're hoping that God will trust us with some of these athletes that are interested in our program, and that we can continue. One of the things we admire about West Texas A&M, they won the 4x1 this year with 4 new people from the year before, and actually set the national record. And so when Karen and I came back, we said, hey, that's what we want to do. We want to take a brand new group, with some people that we have coming back, but take new people and do the same thing all over again. And just be that program that year in and year out, that when they look inside the top 10 and when they look at somebody who's going to be in the top 5, it's going to be Carson-Newman.
Do want to touch on one other thing that is unrelated to the region awards. It's the academic side of the coin for track and field. Abby Owens comes out. She's SAC Scholar Athlete of the Year. Right. You had 9 recognized with, it'll always be co-sided to me, but CSC, Academic All District. Just how important is that academic side of the coin to your program?
Oh, it's incredibly important. I think on our women's team, almost 1/4 of our team is a 4.0. So, when you have Susan Nelson, that's the Elite Award winner, and Abby, that's the Elite Award winner, and you got people like Marley Baker, and if I kept going, we would, the rest of the, we'd spend 10 more minutes on this interview talking about people that get it done academically. But to us, when you don't train on campus for a lot of things, and you have to make that extra commitment of traveling back and forth to practice, you have to be extra focused. And so when you get a chance to be back here on campus, you got to make the most of your minutes. And for our track athletes, they really do make the most of their minutes. And we counted, I think that in our team, on the men's and women's team, having above a 3.0, we were at like almost 60 to 70%. And that's, as a coach who is a professor, I'm very proud of those people, and just how they get it done. I really do. And I can't, Tina Murrow and the academic support staff that really sits there and helps those that are struggling, but also encourages those that are doing well.
All right, Death from the Left, congratulations on all the accolades.
Thank you, sir.
That is Carson-Newman Director of Track and Field, David Needs. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, and this is the Eagle Sports Network.